Losing a bit too much, confused at the brand new map, wondering what all the good guns are and how to motivate yourself to get good at Apex Legends Season 3? Well, don't worry, my friends, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to go through the top 10 ways to get better and instantly improve at Apex Legends Season 3, and the only reason this video is possible is because of EA Game Changers. So I want to say thank you to EA and the Game Changers program for allowing me to get some early footage of Apex Legends Season 3 and provide some cool tip videos like this for my people, for my subscribers, for when they get into the games. They'll already be prepared, having a little bit of footage before everybody else in the world to be ready for the launch. But even after the launch, this video is going to be very relevant. Even if you're brand new and this is a year later and you're coming into Apex Legends, all of these things should be tips and valuable learning lessons for a newer player or an average player or even a veteran player to remind themselves, learn new skills, or just generally improve their gameplay to be more efficient, get more kills, win more games, and ultimately have more fun in Season 3, or whatever season you're in. So here's a simple guarantee. After you watch this video, you will be better at Season 3 than before you watched it. I guarantee it. Now let's get into the first tip as well to get you caught up on what you need to know. Apex Legends Season 3 drops with a brand new map. That's right, Kings Canyon, see ya later. It is taking a hiatus or it's gone completely. We do not know, but it is a completely new map in Apex Legends Season 3, which means there are all new areas to be explored. And this is a great time because if you're brand new to the game or you took a break in Season 1 or Season 2, you're now starting on an even playing field and you don't have to worry about catching up with that sweaty TTV rate. We all know how important knowing a map is, knowing where you're fighting. It could be the key between finding the good spot to hide, hold a rotation, or basically position yourself in a fight on the high ground when somebody else is still looking around confused, trying to figure out how to find the stairs to get up. All of these things mean that you should practice, you should play, land in all the different zones, and if you need some more help, stay tuned. I might have a video coming out on this channel that will help you with that. There are geysers that lift you up and redeploy you into your flight mode. There are lava areas, there are ice areas with huge dips into the ground, and there are secret tunnels and vaults that allow you to access unique equipment that you would never be able to get your hands on in the same area in any other game of Apex. However, this map brings all of those dynamics and much more, so feel free to explore. The other thing to pay attention to is that it's a bigger map. It's not 4 times bigger, but it is significantly bigger, and one of the reasons being at that Game Changers event was to allow for some more open play, some more sniper play, some more concerted, controlled focus fire from distance to allow people to use those weapons that haven't really been utilized, except the longbow obviously, in a more consistent fashion and to provide a variety of playstyles for the game, and so far it's working. Tip number 2 to instantly improve in Apex Legends Season 3, it's that we have a new legend, Crypto, and you need to be hip on his skills. Now the big thing about Crypto is he is intended to counter Wattson, or the current meta of Wattson, and here's how he does it. Crypto is a surveillance expert. His first passive ability is called Neuralink and allows him to use his drone and provide that information within 30 meters to his teammates. That's right, whether you're playing Crypto or Crypto's playing against you, he will be able to provide information for your teammates or against you for his teammates, and that could be a deadly situation. So know what you're getting into. His drone also is just one of the best abilities in the game because it provides so much scouting potential, whether you're trying to sneak around a corner, rotate at the end of the game, or just get a general perspective as to where people are in those crazy early game fights when people barely have any loot and are basically trying to run around and just get a quick peacekeeper shot off before you can. And of course we have the EMP, Crypto's ultimate, which allows you to send your drone into an area both vertically and horizontally, release an EMP blast that will destroy 50 shields, slow enemies, and also blur their vision. And it will also destroy all traps, meaning the caustic gas, Wattson fences, see you later. So that means you can actually approach those buildings that previously were really hard to get into and were heavily defensible. Now they're not so defensible if you've got a Crypto on your team or you're playing against a Crypto. So beware, a lot of the meta will shift and this may lead to more aggressive play. Is he going to be a top meta pick? I'm not quite sure yet, but let's just watch and see how the pros start to use them. You guys let me know what you think about Crypto in the comments section below. And I just did a guide on 11 pro tips to improve with Crypto, so if you're interested in learning more about the new legend or just generally getting better with him, make sure to check that video out after this one. Number 3, little balls. It's not what you mean. There's just these flying little balls running around in the map and they change color. What does that mean? It's the similar aspect to a flyer where they'll bring different types of loot, and the loot is distinguished based on the color of the ball, but the ball constantly rotates color, and if you're able to shoot it and either let the ball fall at the color that you shot it or destroy it while it is a certain color, it will drop certain varieties of loot from rare to epic to legendary. Now if you're able to destroy it at the legendary loot level, you will potentially get a vault key Key. And this vault key opens up a special area in the map that contains every single item you would ever want in Apex Legends. It's its own minigame in Apex Legends, so while you're trying to fight people, you're also trying to find these flyers, get that vault key, and then travel down into the vault. But guess what? Some other teams may be trying to do the same thing, so watch out in that mine pass. It can be a little dangerous. Number 4, Disruptor rounds and Skull Piercer hop-ups are gone. Are you kidding me? The strongest hop-up in the entire game is now gone? The other strongest hop-up for the 2 best weapons in the game is now gone? Yes, Season 3 is changing a lot, so let's get into why they did it. Disruptor rounds went on to an alternator and an RE45. These were 2 weapons that were underutilized in Season 1, and with this hop-up became very strong weapons. They would basically scale more than 2 times their normal damage onto shields, meaning that they can get through 100 shielding an epic shield in about 4 shots. This meant the meta was very hard towards the late game when every good player had them, and unfortunately after 3 successive nerfs, they just found it better to remove them altogether and try to shift the meta in a different direction. Personally, I like the change, but I'll talk more about that in my update overview video, which should be coming out the moment you guys can actually all play Season 3 and we actually get to see the patch notes. The second thing about the Skull Piercer hop-up is that it was a hop-up that was denoted to be available for the 2 strongest weapons in the heavy category in the game, the longbow and the wingman. The wingman in Season 1, and then of course the longbow in Season 2 with the Watson meta and the way that sniping became overwhelming. However, in Season 3, because the map is so big, sniping is even more prevalent, so they had to balance that out somehow and balance out these 2 strong weapons while adding value to the other weapons in that category that we'll get to in a second. So the longbow has actually been taken away from having the Skull Piercer hop-up as well as the wingman. It no longer exists. However, the headshot bonus has been increased to compensate the difference between what Skull Piercer would have added and the base headshot bonus of the wingman. So you'll notice some different numbers when hitting your headshots. They'll be a little bit more valuable, a little bit meatier in the current iterations, and you just won't be able to get to the highest of high thresholds that a Skull Piercer hop-up would have allowed you. So increasing the floor of the weapon, bringing up the base value of it while decreasing the ceiling, limiting the highest potential peak of damage that those weapons can do. Number 5, not only 1, but 2 new hop-ups are introduced in Apex Legends Season 3, and they work only for the Flatline, the R301, the EVA 8, and the G7 Scout. So let's break it down. The first hop-up, the Anvil Receiver, allows you to turn your assault rifles, your R301, and your Flatline into single-fire monsters, and use them for single-bullet heavy damage sniping play if you so choose. And what this means is you will essentially have a wingman on your Flatline if you want. It will slow down the rate of fire, but it will increase the damage to about 45 per bullet, not including headshots. So the damage potential is nuts. This is something that not only makes this weapon better in general and might be the primary mode of firing, but also just gives it so much more versatility throughout all of Apex Legends, because you can go assault rifle mode, go for the full auto, and then turn it in to the single fire if you need to tap or take some long range engagements. The second hop up is for the G7 Scout and the EVA 8, and it's called the double tap trigger, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You tap once and you get double the shots, 2 shots per 1 tap of that trigger, and it means that the burst damage for both of these weapons is increased twofold. It's pretty nuts, and it may even make the EVA 8 more of a priority than the Peacekeeper, because really the Peacekeeper was just a matter of burst. It was a matter of a single shot doing so much burst you could not retreat, you could not heal in time. The EVA 8 now has that potential with this hop up, and the G7 Scout has risen amongst a lot of other weapons to be a king of snipers in this season so far from what we have seen. It is a weapon that you want to get better at because the potential is absolutely nutty if you can use it. Now that leads me to the number 6 tip in Apex Legends Season 3 to instantly improve. Snipers are going to be heavily valued in this new map, but not just the longbow. I feel like I have to mention that because the longbow has and always will be a very good weapon in this game, and it's something that with heavy ammo has some of the best burst potential and just consistent damage per bullet that you want when you're trading out across the map with other players. But the fact that the triple take and the G7 Scout are getting some love with golden weapon options and also the new hop up for the G7 Scout means that all snipers of all varieties are going to be important. But when you add that to the fact that the R301, an already a good assault rifle, and the Flatline, which is an assault rifle that has some of the highest damage per bullet individually already, are getting single fire options with the Anvil Receiver, sniping and long range play with 2 times, 3 times, even 6 to 8 times scopes is going to be something you have to learn and should value learning in the early days of Season 3. And this doesn't even include the brand new sniper rifle, that I'll get into in a second. My personal favorite is the G7 Scout. I know I'll be playing a lot with that this season, trying to get better and using that double tap. So make sure you guys let me know which sniper you're going to be using in this meta. Moving on to the number 7 tip to instantly improve in Apex Season 3, the new charge rifle is nuts. I have a couple of videos that I plan to go over this weapon in a little bit more detail and some of the stats around it, but just to give you an overview, it's got a bit of a charge up before it hits for a singular burst. That charge up, if you hit the entire beam and track your opponent during it, will do a set amount of damage, and the burst itself will do 1 instance of damage. It appears to be hit scan, like the Select Fire Havoc, and allows you, with very good aim, to be extremely lethal from range. So my good players, what's up? You're going to want to use this weapon. It takes an energy mag, a scope, and a sniper stock. So no stabilizer, no barrel mod for this weapon at all. But trust me, you're gonna get by just fine using it the way that it is. And it doesn't drop in any special care packages or in any special ways. It's a brand new, just simply loot table fixed weapon that you can find in any game of Apex Legends, and I love that. This is the first hit scan weapon in Apex Legends that I feel could actually be very viable, so make sure to pick it up and learn it. I think you're going to see a lot of it this season. Moving into number 9, but before that, a quick bonus tip. Legendary items have shifted at least somewhat. Now, I didn't get full confirmation when I was at the event of which legendary items shifted exactly and what the dynamics were numbers-wise, but I do know that the legendary backpack status, when I played it at the event, was actually on the legendary shield. So, instead of getting that execution kind of finish bonus shield back passive that was really not usable, you're now going to get the fast heal backpack passive on the legendary shield, making it very, very useful. There's some other ones that I've heard speculated, but I don't have the numbers yet. We'll cover that more in the update video. Moving on to the number 8 tip about Apex Legends Season 3 to instantly improve: get used to riding the train. Because it's not just a train, it's a lifestyle. The train is not just a location on the map. It's the coolest, most unique living aspect of the world's edge, and allows for you to travel the areas at faster speeds and with a bit of control. One tip most people don't know is that you can go to the captain's cockpit. Is that what it's called on a train? A cockpit? I don't know. I'm just flying planes. I'm not on trains a lot. And actually stop the moving vehicle. However, I believe after a while it will begin moving, so be careful not to disembark too far. What it also means is that engagements, punches, misdrops, and all those things have different dynamics and higher stakes, because the train will move without you. Trust me, I had a couple games with Huskers and Jack Frags where essentially we could not get back to Jack because we had taken the train and he wasn't on it, and we were just too far in a matter of seconds, so be aware. However, this opens up a whole new world. Like Ariel down below, she's seeing the land for the first time out of the ocean. This is a new way for pro teams and good players and even new players to travel the map and rotate onto different things, out of circles, into circles, and around them into other sides, with cover, moving cover, and an escape option that also has loot on it. Honestly, this is one of the best things about the map. It's the central point, it's the, I think the featurette, and it's also one of the hottest drops in the game. So make sure to get your train drops on. That's where we're dropping, boys and girls. Now moving into the number 9 and number 10 tips, these are going to be a little bit more theoretical as far as how do you actually fight. What are the best ways in Season 3 to start taking some fights if you're struggling on shooting, if you're struggling on aiming. I have a lot of videos that I cover several different habits about aiming and things to do in order to improve that aspect of your game. Check out my Season 2 tips as well, because a lot of those things still apply. Number 7 specifically has a lot of fighting tactics. Now number 9 is push and focus fire. Now these are two big elements, and I want to say I learned a lot of this by watching Huskers and watching pro play in Krakow, Poland, which I was happy to be invited to be an analyst and to be a reporter and a part of the talent team to put on that event. One of the things I noticed playing with Huskers in this specific Game Changers event was his ability to push opponents when they were low. We had cracked shields, we had hit a few shots, and he said, take the space. I've created the space, now take it and push it a step further. We kept putting them in a corner, more defensive, to where our grenades were more easily hittable, our shots were more predictable, and their movement patterns became less open, and we had the uphill advantage. These are things that you need to start learning to do if you want to improve in Season 3. When you crack shields as well and you're pushing, you know that there's 2 out of 3 members fighting now, which means you should have an advantage. Don't be afraid to go aggressive at that moment, because all they can do is fight you at less health that you have, try to heal while you fight them, which should be free, or just run away, which should also give you free damage while they're turning their back to you. Using an advantage you have to turn it into a bigger advantage is how money works. It's how life works. It's how a lot of things in business and the real world operate. So the same thing goes for Apex Legends. You have a lead, try to make that lead even bigger so that they cannot come back and you secure your chances of success. Another small thing that's really important that I included in this is focus fire. If you're able to shoot the same person with both of your guns, they're going to die twice as fast, maybe even more. That will help you to eliminate one threat and also force their team into a decision-making process that will obviously not allow them, unless they're very good, to be as effective in the fight. They've got to decide, do we save our guy? Do we retreat? Do we keep fighting? Usually that leads to miscommunication, and you can take advantage of the other two members a lot easier. Now, there are so many things to end this video with in the final tip for Apex Legends Season 3, but we've covered weapons, we've covered the ability to know the map, we've covered the dynamics that you want to be aware of, whether you're new or whether you're coming from Season 2 and don't know about the updates. But the biggest thing I could say to you is to turn your offense into defense. Don't sit back and wait for people to fight you. When you see an opening, go for it. This is the type of confidence that you need to be better and to improve. These are the types of things you need to do in your life to get more of what you want. Because when you push yourself, when you go to the next level, it's because you've taken a positive risk. Everything that you have right now in your life is a result of what you've been doing. Think about that. Everything you've done has gotten you what you have. So if you want something different, you've got to do something else. And what I noticed myself doing is being too cautious, not being aggressive enough, not trusting that I can hit my shots. If you want to be a better player and see market improvement in Season 3, then you need to trust yourself and play to the best of your abilities. Play like a pro. Try to do your best, and I think at the end of the day, you will be happy not only with the lessons learned, but with the growth and the value that you find from your own gameplay. That's the best tip I can give you, not only in this game, but in life. Go after what you want. Don't try to hold on to the things that you've already got. Because if you're not happy with your life completely or you want something else, that's the only way to go out and get it. I'm super grateful for what I have, but all I want to do this season is make better and better content on the channel. So you guys can help me out by doing these 3 simple things. Liking the video if you did enjoy it, commenting down below what your favorite tip was or any tip to add so that players can use this as a reference point in the comment section below, or just say hey to me, and also subscribing and turning the bell on. That is the best way to show support, to support my future videos, and let me know you like what I'm doing and that I should keep making more of it. As always, my friends, thanks for watching. Never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.